our life. We learned that water or H2O has some properties. The main feature of water is its hydrogen bonds, which are a type of weak bonds or no covalent bonds. Can someone tell us what are the other
Ionic bond.
Very good.
This is strong bond.
And
Covalent bond.
van der Waals interaction
Bond.
van der Waals interaction, hydrophobic interaction, ionic bond, and hydrogen bond are the four types of non-covalent bond. As you might be acknowledged, I do not say van der Waals bond or hydrophobic bonds. I said interaction instead of bond because there is no bond between two atoms or between two lipids. This is just an interaction between them. Well, the second property is that water can be ionized or be H3O plus or H positive plus or H negative. This reaction, this process, made through a process we named it hopping, proton hopping. Proton hopping. The other bullet point. The pH for water is equal to pOHN. It is 7. For weak acids, do not dissociate completely in water. So we should use pKa for dissociation for dissociation equation. Five weak acids plus their conjugated base are determined as buffers. 6 buffers resist against pH changes. Two equations calculation or formula for determining or calculating pH. The first one, pH is equal to 4, and the second is Anderson Hasselbalch equation. This is the most important bullet point in our last session. Is there any question?
الخطوات اللي كانوا موين تبارك اللي خيطوا تبدأ على إيش فيلم اللي
Hydrogen bonds is the most properties of water, which is a type of weak bonds or non-covalent bonds. We have four types of bonds, non-covalent interaction or bond. The first one, hydrogen bond, ionic bond, hydrophobic interaction, and van der Waals interaction. Water can be ionized. It means it can produce H positive and H negative using a process we name it proton popping. pH in a water solution, in a pure water solution, pH is equal to pOH and it is 30. What is the unit for pH? The unit. Don't have. Very good. We don't have any unit for pH. pH has no unit.
Yes.
Weak acids don't dissociate completely in water, in contrast to strong acids, which completely dissociate in water. So we should use pK instead of K. Weak acid plus their conjugated base are determined as buffers. Buffers assist against pH change in our body in any solution. What is the most important characteristics or properties of a unique buffer? Buffering pH region. Buffering region. What is the amount of a unique buffering region?
PK plus minus
for any buffer,
plus one
for
or minus
any
one.
unique buffer, buffering region BR is equal to PK for that buffer plus
Minus one.
for example, if a buffer has a pK equal to 5, then for 2 it's 6. Buffering is for 2. For another buffer like phosphate buffer in our cells, the pK is equal to 6, I think. So the buffer is 7. Very good. Can I clean the board?
صورة جديدة على شوف كل نص ساعة يستلم واحد
Registration
كل نص
علي رزاق
بله
آية and I more. However, I am still ready to answer all of your questions. First, we should learn about the importance of sugar or other name carbohydrates.
Sir, you don't explain the last two lecture, two pages.
Yes, I explained them. I told you about the most important buffers in our body. For example, the first one is hemoglobin or proteins, which are the buffers in our cells. Proteins can do buffery action in both inside cells and outside cells. Also, I named a buffer.
The last two pages, it is formulas.
Important buffers as I say, physiology. And
The last slide,
Yeah.
you mean the last slide. It is very easy. The last slide point out the buffering action of this buffer. For example, hemoglobin, for example, proteins or hemoglobins can give H or take H. They can easily take H and produce TRH, and they can give H ion and produce PR. The same explanation for hemoglobin. So those are just an example for our last explanation.
Okay, this water as a
Reactor.
reactant, yes.
Very good. The other action of water is the enzymatic-like action of water. Water is not an enzyme. However, it can help enzyme to do their actions. We learn about this issue in our enzyme session. However, just for this session, you should know that enzyme can help enzyme to cut most of molecules. Such a reaction has happened too many times in our cells, and we name such reaction as hydrolysis. Which means cutting molecules using water. Cutting molecules using water. So water can use for cutting molecules in our body and through enzymes, and we name such reaction as hydrolysis. Well, what about sugars or carbohydrates? As you might acknowledge, the most important molecules, substances that produce during photosynthesis are carbohydrates in the form of glucose and in plants. plants produce carbohydrates during photosynthesis, and this is the molecule and substances that we use it every day in any food, any diet. The most abundant organic substance in nature are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are precursor for many biomolecules, so we can use carbohydrate to produce proteins, lipids, also nucleic acids, the other three main biomolecules in our body. What are the main biomolecules in body? In our cells, we have 4 biomolecules. We have 4 macromolecules, carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, and lipids. Please consider that lipids are not macromolecules, are not big. However, due to their importance for our cells, we divided them in macromolecules. I write 4 macromolecules in cells. Carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acid, and lipids. Nucleic acid and lipids. I write lipids in another color. Lipids. As I said, lipids are not big enough to be clustered or classified as a macromolecule. However, they are still they have still so important for the cell to be clustered in this group. They are not big, but they are very important. Therefore, we classify them as macromolecules. A question. We have some molecules in the cells that we classify them as
Micro.
informational molecules. Which means that those molecules store some information inside them. In your opinion, which of these macromolecules could be classified in this group?
Protein.
Let me make a number for them. No, please give me your idea. Which of these molecules are informational molecules?
تتكون بداخل جزيء
Proteins, we can write
تتكون
it
بداخل جزيء
2.
4 lipids.
lipids, how can lipids be a informational molecule? What are the information? The first, why the first
The body occurs systemic with carbohydrate, like protein in carbohydrate, and the last is lipids.
So, in your opinion, carbohydrates could be an informational molecule. Also, your friends name proteins. What about Na and lipids?
Lipids on the list, it's still on the bottom.
Lipids are informational molecules or not? Just yes. What about nucleic acid? Abdul Rahman, please speak loud.
I think nucleic acid.
Nucleic acid. Abdul Rahman said nucleic acid could be. Any other idea? Well, so all of these macromolecules in your idea could be informational. Let me explain this issue. The first informational molecule, as we can consider, is Na, nucleic acids, because they have the required information to produce proteins. This information is stored in our DNA and transferred to RNA to produce proteins. So DNA has the required information to produce another molecule. Therefore, DNA is a type of informational molecule, or nucleic acid are some types of. The other informational molecules are proteins because they produce from DNA. DNA codes proteins. DNA codes proteins. Therefore, proteins produce according to a specific code. Therefore, they store some information in their structure. If an amino acid in protein structure changes, that protein do not follow the routine function of it. We have an example for this matter, like a disease, we named it sickle cell anemia, which is a disease that produce RBCs with a shape like cycle. Such that. And this disease results from one change in amino acids, just a change from glutamic acid to another amino acid. So glutamic acid substituted with another amino acid and produces sickle cell anemia. Therefore, proteins include information in their structure. The third informational molecules in our body are carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. The third informational molecules in our body are carbohydrates. But how can carbohydrates do a role as a informational molecule. Let me give you an example. I think you are and you are familiar with a disease. We named it HIV/AIDS. HIV is a virus. HIV can just enter to one of our cells in our body, not all cells, just one cell that we name this cell T helper. T helper, a kind of white blood cells in our body. T helpers. HIV virus can just enter to this cell. Why? Why HIV do not enter to other cells, and they can only enter to such cells? Another example. All of you hear about COVID, which is resulted from SARS-CoV-2 virus. SARS-CoV-2 is responsible for COVID-19. This virus can only enter to pneumocytes in our lung. Why SARS-CoV-2 can only enter to such cells and do not enter to other cells of our body? The answer is because of our carbohydrates. Each cell has a unique type of carbohydrate that act as a key for our cell. So we have locks and keys in our body. Any keys can only open a lock. So again, any key in our body can only open a lock. A unique key for a unique lock. So the key on the surface of SARS-CoV-2, the key on the surface of HIV can only open T helpers, can only open SARS-CoV-2, and this key and locks are produced from carbohydrates. Another example. We have 3 blood group types, A, B, O, or AB. How these group types are produced? The reason and the answer is inside our carbohydrates. Each blood group has a unique type of carbohydrates. So we have 3 informational molecules in our body, and they are nucleic acid, proteins, and carbohydrates. We have 5-minute breaks.
Don't need to.